The study I'm talking about today is the short-term and long-term effects of violent media on aggression in children and adults. Previously, there is a lot of study done already identifies the association between children's observation of the violent media and their increased aggressive and violent behavior. It is also important to understand the effects through the psychological process, which is the reason responsible for this linkage between their observation of the violent media and increased aggressive behavior. Because this will helping the parents to be aware of the risk and to set preventative strategies, actually preventing any unnecessary observation of the media violence from their children, and also promote the safety in their environment. The series this article actually talking about is observational learning, social modeling, which means a child learning a new skills or behavior through watching or observing what's going around with them and the media resource. And the excitation transfer means a child may firstly watching violent media may feel mild anger. However, this may transfer later on feel more severe anger after watching it. Another called desensitization, which means first time a child may watch a blood or violent movie, they may feel really horrored or they may feel really scared. However, by repetitive watching it, they may feel disassociate a little bit more, less emotional, that means. The broader aim is, of course, to use a meta-analysis to test the available previous studies demonstrating the positive association between children's watching violent media and their increased behavior. A specific aim is actually to test the theory-driven hypothesis that is the short-term effects from observational learning of the violent media on aggression is greater than adults compared with children, which long-term effects is actually more obvious than children compared with adults. Hypothesis is actually to test there is a positive association between watching the violent media, however, and aggressive behavior. However, short-term effects is more obvious in adults than children, but the longer-term effects is actually more obvious in children rather than adults. The participants they are using for this study is a data resource targeted research to empirical studies of human participants from 1887 to 2000, and as well as the research of the previous study of the violent media and aggression. The study also need to measure participants' observation of the violent media, and also measures of participants' aggressive behavior, cognition, and their arousal. A total of 431 studies were selected, which involves over 68,000 participants. The method they are conducting, firstly, they are coded characteristics, for example, by different types of the study, participants' age, type of the dependent variables, which means aggressive behaviors, aggressive thoughts, angry feelings, physiological arousal, or helping behavior. And the approach they are using called a meta-analytic, which is a both fixed and random effects analysis. The graph showing the findings is actually media-related aggression was greater for adults than the children in short-term study, but it was greater for children than adults in the longer-term study. Conclusion is that it does test the theory-driven hypothesis, which is consistent. Short-term effects of the violent media on aggressive behavior is larger among adults compared with children, and the longer-term effects of the violent media on aggression is larger in children compared with adults. This does implicate, in generally, there is a positive association from a person observational learning of the violent media on their aggressive behavior. However, for adults, it's more about the short-term effects is more obvious. For children, it's more obvious for the longer-term effects. And also, this also indicates that children need the most protection from the repetitive watching and the observation from the media violence. Parents also need to be aware of the longer-term effects for children's observational learning from the media violence on their cognition, on their thoughts. They may perceive that as justified or reasonable. Parents also need to be aware the beliefs and attitude actually conveyed from the media violence that may changing children's perspective of the world, which as a natural consequence may leading to the increase of aggressive behavior or violence in their family environment and social environment. The weakness of this study is actually in meta-analysis. It is very difficult to find unpublished studies. Studies with non-significant effects are often not published. If they are published, the correlation would be smaller. In this study, there is also no outcome specified in field experimental study or correlational study. There is also no implication noted regarding the protective strategies for their adults. For the adults, the strength of this study is quite resourceful, involved a lot of studies. And the future direction could be associated with more in-depth analysis of the media violence on adults' aggressive behavior through their observational learning of the violent media. And this is a reference list I have been using. Thank you.